Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So I just got off ARK's monthly market update webinar, and toward the end, they shared some really good insight as to why Tesla is still 3 years ahead. And given some of the recent uncertainty around Tesla stock, I figured some of you out there could definitely use some encouragement when it comes to Tesla. At the beginning of the webinar, Kathy actually spoke a little bit about how by 2025, she sees a normal average priced EV being about $18,000, something comparable to a Toyota Camry, and this is of course due to Wright's Law, and with every doubling of production in the EV space, it will lead to about a 28% in battery cost declines at scale. So I think that alone is reason to be encouraged. They continue to see the EV space and the technology there driving this industry forward way faster than anyone has anticipated, and she reiterated the fact that traditional auto is indeed in big trouble. But here's a clip for you. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
So as more and more companies enter the EV and autonomous race, why is Tesla still in the lead? And I'll also highlight that there's a number of questions around our Tesla valuation. So I'll note that we will be releasing an updated blog in about 2 weeks on that. But with that, I'll let the team answer that question.
Sure. So I'll start off with EVs and then pass it over to Tasha to talk about autonomous technology. On the EV side, there are a few things. And one of the things that we look at is the range and efficiency of the vehicles balanced with the performance of the vehicle. And when we're looking at that, it's very clear that Tesla is at least 3 years ahead of the competition. And you can see that just by looking at the announcements from other car companies when they come out. And you can see the battery size, the range that they expect, the acceleration of the vehicle, as well as the charging speed. And so those are some very easy to measure metrics where you can tell that Tesla is ahead. Some things that are harder to measure, but still keep Tesla ahead, really emerged at Battery Day and its plans to ramp up cell manufacturing itself and really try and take more of the future into its own hands, where it can continue to execute and innovate at Tesla's rate of innovation, as opposed to waiting on suppliers and the industry to catch up. And that's been Tesla's MO for the past decade and what's kept them ahead this whole time. And then I'll pass it over to Tasha to talk autonomous.
Sure. Well, first I'd say that Tesla, one of the reasons we're so interested in their autonomous strategy, and we think they could be a leader in the space, as we said before, is that the approach that they're taking to solving for full autonomy is unique. They're using their fleet of customer cars that they can basically have as an optional data library to pull from in order to train the car on certain corner cases. Most recently, this past weekend, we got an exciting update, which was that the full self-driving beta version of the new autopilot update will be available to, it sounds like, all Tesla owners in a matter of time, whereas previously this was limited to a select group of expert drivers. I think that opening up this beta is a good sign in how confident the company is in the technology. To toggle back to their strategy, I think that this is something that's very unique to Tesla, and that other than some of the newer players in Asia, which have smaller fleets, Tesla is right now, the only company with over 1 million cars on the road that it can pull from to train its autonomous algorithms. We have seen some startups already commercialize their efforts. So in China, AutoX was the first to launch a truly commercial robotaxi platform. In the US, that was Waymo. So Tesla could be second. And to be clear, it's not 100% certain that they will do this, right? It's still unsolved for. But the advantage that we see is really in that data effort. So when we talk about Tesla being ahead of others, we're talking about that data advantage. And then I'll quickly touch on the valuation update. This is something that we as a team have been working very hard to put out to you all. We're really excited to share this with you. it should be out within the next couple of weeks. So please look out for that, and look forward to it.
Thanks, Tasha. So going back to Sam, is there any future for solar? Can you share our thoughts there?
Yep. And here there are a few distinctions I would make when we talk about solar. The technology, whether it's utility scale or residential. And then again, going back to that, separating the technology from whether values accruing to companies. So we definitely think that there is a future for solar, the technology. And then on the economics of it, utility scale solar is far more economic than residential scale solar. And then when we go to the residential side of the market, we think that there's a lot more value that can accrue to building integrated photovoltaics. So something like a solar roof, or potentially in the future, some type of solar window application relative to rooftop solar where you're attaching panels onto the roof. And so we've done research there where even though solar panels are coming down in cost, the balance of system costs, the cost of customer acquisition, of getting someone up on your roof to actually install the rooftop solar, makes the economics less than desirable in many places, the majority of the United States. And those other costs don't come down the same way that technology costs come down. So the customer acquisition costs, the putting a person up on your roof costs are harder to bring down. Whereas when you go over to a building integrated photovoltaic solution like a solar roof, then there's far more technology involved. And that actually can help bring down those other costs because you already are having someone build a roof. So you already have people up there and working. You could also potentially partner with home builders where the customer acquisition cost comes down from that angle as well. So that's kind of the different frameworks we're looking at for the future of solar.